Hello, friends. Welcome back to Learning Nails and Aesthetics. We are in Chapter 10 of the Milady Foundations book, Business Skills, the Beauty Business. If you haven't seen the previous chapters of this book, check that out. I also have videos on the Milady Nail book, as well as their Aesthetics book, and unboxing of lots of fun things, polishes, Timo products, all that kind of fun stuff. So like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's get started. Types of business ownership. Salon, spa, or barbershop can be owned and operated by an individual, a partnership, or a corporation or franchise. Before deciding which type of ownership is most desirable for your situation, research each option thoroughly. There are excellent reference tools available. You can also consult a small business attorney for advice. Individual ownership. If you like to make your own rules and are responsible enough to meet all the duties and obligations of running a business, individual ownership may be the best arrangement for you. The sole proprietor is the individual owner and most often the manager of the business, who determines policies and has the last say in decision making, as well as assumes expenses, receives profits, and bears all losses. And I think I forgot to say, I am not 8I, so mistakes will be made. I appreciate your tolerance. Just laugh along with me. Partnership. In a partnership business structure, 2 or more people share ownership, although not necessarily equally. One reason for going into a partnership arrangement is to have more capital or money to invest in a business. Another is to have help running your operation. Partners can pool their skills and talents, making it easier to share work, responsibilities, and decision making. Keep in mind that partners may assume one another's liability or debts. Partnership may mean more opportunity for increased investment and growth. They can be fantastic if the right chemistry exists. They can be disastrous if you find yourself legally linked to the wrong person. Your partner can incur losses or debts that you may not even be aware of unless you use third-party accountants. Trust in just one of the requirements for this arrangement. A corporation is an ownership structure controlled by one or more stockholders. Incorporating is one of the best ways that a business owner can protect their personal assets. Most people choose to incorporate solely for this reason, but there are other advantages as well. For example, the corporate business structure saves you money in taxes, provides greater business flexibility, and makes raising capital easier. It also limits your personal financial liability if your business accrues unmanageable debt or otherwise runs into financial trouble. Characteristics of corporations are generally as follows. Corporations raise capital by issuing stock certificates or shares. Stockholders, people or companies that purchase shares, have an ownership interest in the company. The more stock they own, the bigger that interest becomes. You can be the sole stockholder or shareholder, or you can have many stockholders. Corporate formalities such as director and stockholder meetings are required to maintain a corporate status. Income tax is limited to the salary that you draw and not the total profits of the business. Corporations cost more to set up and run than a sole proprietorship or partnership. For example, there are the initial formation fees, filing fees, and annual state fees. A stockholder of a corporation is required to pay unemployment insurance taxes on their salary, whereas a sole proprietor or partner is not. Your accountant may suggest that your business become an S corporation. I'm used to calling it S corp, small business corporation, which is a business elected for S corporation status through the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. This status allows the taxation of the company to be similar to a partnership or sole proprietor, as opposed to paying taxes based on a corporate rate tax structure. Or your accountant may suggest that your business become registered as a limited liability company, an LLC, which is a type of business ownership combining several features of corporation and partnership structures. Owners of an LLC also have the liability protection of a corporation. An LLC exists as a separate entity, much like a corporation. Members cannot be held personally liable for debt unless they have signed a personal guarantee. Did you know when you open your own business, you should consult an attorney and an accountant before filing any documents to legalize your business? Your attorney will advise you of the legal documents and obligations that you will take on as a business owner, and your accountant can inform you of the ways in which your business may be registered for tax purposes. It is helpful to find professionals who have previous experience in the beauty business. Franchise ownership. A franchise is a form of business organization in which a firm that is already successful, the franchisor, enters into a continuing contractual relationship with other businesses, franchises operating under the franchisor's trade name in exchange for a fee. When you operate a franchise salon, spa, or barbershop, you usually operate under the franchisor's guidance and must adhere to a contract with many stipulations. These stipulations ensure that all locations in the franchise are run in a similar manner, look the same way, use the same logos, and sometimes even train in the same way or carry the same retail products. Franchises offer the advantage of a known name and brand recognition, and the franchisor does most of the marketing for you. Also, many have protected territories, meaning another franchise with the same name cannot open up within your fixed geographic area. However, franchise agreements vary widely in that you can and cannot do on your own. Owning a franchise is no guarantee of making a profit, and you should always research the franchise. Talk to other owners of the franchise's shops and have an attorney read the contract and explain anything you do not understand, including your precise obligations and arrangements for paying the franchise fee. In most cases, whether or not you are profitable, you must pay the fee. Purchasing an established business. Purchasing an existing salon, spa, or barbershop could be an excellent opportunity, but as with anything else, you have to look at all sides of the picture. If you choose to buy an established business, seek professional assistance from an accountant and a business lawyer. You may have the option of purchasing all the assets of a shop or some or all of its stock. It's important to know, however, that you are not purchasing the staff or clientele. There is no guarantee that with new ownership, the staff will be retained or the clients will continue to return. In general, any agreement to buy an established business should include the following terms. Financial audit to determine the actual value of the business once the current owner's bookings are taken out of the equation. Often, the owner of a salon, spa, or barbershop brings in the bulk of the business income, and it is unlikely you will retain all the former owner's clients without a lot of support and encouragement from the former owner. Written purchase and sale agreement to avoid any misunderstandings between the contracting parties. Complete and signed statement of inventory, goods, fixtures, and, if applicable, a transfer of a note, mortgage, lease, or bill of sale are defaults in a payment. Lost my place again. Or a bill of sale, including any Investigation by the buyer to determine whether there are defaults in the payment of debt. Confirmed identity of owner. Use of the business's name and reputation for a definite period of time. Disclosure of any and all information regarding the shop's clientele and its purchasing and service habits. Disclosure of the conditions of the facility if you are buying the actual building. A full inspection is in order. Many other legalities also apply as noted by your realtor and attorney. Non-compete agreement stating that the seller will not work in or establish a new salon, spa, or barbershop within a specified distance from the present location. Employee agreement, either formal or informal, that lets you know if the employees will stay with the business under the new ownership. Existing employee contracts should be transferable. Activity, practicality in business. Form student teams to play the practical side of your own salon, spa, or barbershop. Designate certain tasks to specific team members and decide if everyone will work on every task as a group. Each team should perform the following tasks. Decide on the name for their business. Determine what services will be offered. Create fun signage for the shop's exterior. Write a vision statement, write a mission statement, create an organizational plan and a marketing plan. Most students will not be able to develop complex budgets, but if you feel up to it, decide on a specific budget and allocate it to key areas such as decorating, equipment, supplies, and personnel. Ask your instructors to provide feedback about whether your budget is realistic. Drawing up a lease. In most cases, owning your own business does not mean that you own the building that houses your business. When renting or leasing space, you must have an agreement with the building's owner that has been well thought out and well written. The lease should specify clearly who owns what and who is responsible for which repairs and expenses. You should also secure the following: exemption of fixtures or appliances that might be attached to the salon, spa, or barbershop so they can be removed without violating the lease. Agreement about necessary renovations and repairs such as painting, plumbing, fixtures, and electrical installation. Options from the landlord that allow you to assign the lease to another person. Obligations for the payment or rent are thus kept separate from the responsibilities of operating the business should you decide to bring in another person or owner. Protection against fire, theft, and lawsuits. As a business owner, you must protect the business, clients, and staff on several levels. Here are some of the ways you can reduce risk and ensure this protection. Ensure that your business has adequate locks as well as a fire alarm system, a burglar alarm system, and a surveillance system. Purchase liability, fire, malpractice, and burglary insurance, and do not allow these policies to lapse while you are in business. Become thoroughly familiar with all laws governing your discipline with the safety and infection control codes of your city and state. Keep accurate records of the number of employees, their salaries, lengths of employment, and Social Security numbers as required by various state and federal laws that monitor the social welfare of workers. Always check with your regulatory agency if you have any questions about a law or regulation. Ignorance of the law is no excuse for violating it. Business operations. Whether you are an owner or a manager, there are certain skills that you must develop in order to successfully run a salon, spa, or barbershop. To run a people-oriented business, you need excellent business aptitude, good judgment and solid diplomatic skills, knowledge of sound business principles. Because it takes time to develop these skills, you would be wise to establish a circle of contacts, business owners both within the industry and without. who can give you advice along the way. Consider joining a local entrepreneurs group for your city's Chamber of Commerce in order to extend the reach of your networking. The Chamber of Commerce is a local organization or business and business owners whose goal is to promote, protect, and further the interest of businesses in a community. Smooth business management depends on the following factors: sufficient investment capital, efficient management, good business procedures, strong computer skills, cooperation between management and employees, trained and experienced personnel, excellent customer service, proper pricing of services. And there is figure 610, which is an example of a service menu. It would be kind of odd to read through these, but if you would like to look at it, pause the video. Of course, if you're not driving. Oh, I didn't realize half the book was out of the shot. That's great. Good job, Carrie. But I will give you some examples. It says hair removal, eyebrow waxing. They have listed at $7. Full leg wax, $75. There are several others listed, but I think it would be strange to read them anyway. Facials, express facial, $25. Facials, basic facial, they have $45. Then skipping down to makeup, basic makeup, $30. Tinting, it says ashes, but I'm pretty sure they mean lashes. It's $15. Then skipping over to salon services, child haircut under 12, it's $25. Skipping down to barbering services, shampoo and cut, $40. Nails, manicure, $25, pedicure, $35. It's just, these prices are going to vary depending on where you live, as well as other salons that are around you. And I think that have been mentioned in things I've read previously, the type of salon that you have, like definitely in New York, you're not going to pay $7 for eyebrow waxing. So, it's kind of pointless to read all these price points that they have as examples, but you can look at it. There it is on your screen. Moving on. Allocation of money. As a business operator, you must always know where your money is being spent. A good accountant and an accounting system are indispensable. The figures in Table 10.1 provide a guideline for money allocation in the beauty business, but will vary depending on locality and discipline. The importance of record keeping. This glare is a bit much. Okay, good business operations require a simple and efficient record-keeping system. Proper business records are necessary to meet the requirements of local, state, and federal laws regarding taxes and employees. Records are of value only if they are correct, concise, and complete. Proper bookkeeping methods include keeping an accurate record of all income and expenses. Income is usually classified as receipts from a service and retail sales. Expenses include rent, utilities, insurance, salaries, advertising, equipment, and repairs. Retain all check stubs, canceled checks, receipts, and invoices. A professional accountant or a full charge bookkeeper is recommended to help keep records accurate. Table 10.1, financial benchmarks for salons, spas, and barbershops in the United States. Expenses, salaries, and commissions, including payroll taxes. And then the percentage of total gross income, 53.5. Okay, again, this is kind of odd to just read if you're not actually looking at it, but we'll give it a go. If it sounds strange, I apologize. So rent, 13. This is a percentage. Supplies, 5%. Advertising, 3%. Depreciation, 3%. Okay, not too bad. Laundry, 1%, cleaning 1%, light and power 1%. Oh, that's a big no, I would say. I wonder when this was estimated. Light and power, repairs 1.5, insurance 0.75, telephone 0.75, miscellaneous 1.5, total expenses 85, net profit 15, and then of course they total all the numbers at 100%. Let's see these notes on the side if it indicates. It does not. Okay. Table 10.1 is a generalization and percentage that can vary from city to city. For example, rent in New York City may be different percentage of sales than in Duluth, Minnesota. A term full charge bookkeeper refers to someone who is trained to do everything from recording sales and payroll to generating a profit and loss statement. The most important part of record keeping is having the ability to determine your business in the case of an audit. Oh, no, that was wrong. The most important part of record keeping is having the ability to defend your business in the case of an audit by the federal or state government and to have accurate proof of all sales made and taxes paid. Purchase and inventory records. The purchase of inventory and supplies should be closely monitored. Purchase records help you maintain a perpetual inventory, which prevents overstocking or a shortage of needed supplies, and alert you to any incidents of theft. Purchase records also help establish the net worth of the business at the end of the year. Keep a running inventory of all supplies and classify them according to their use and retail value. Those to be used on a daily basis. Those to be used in the daily business operation are consumption supplies. Those to be sold to clients are retail supplies. Both categories have different tax responsibilities, so be sure to check with your accountant that you are charging the proper taxes. Service records. Always keep service records or client cards that describe the treatments given and merchandise sold to each client. Using a salon, spa, or barbershop specific software program for this purpose is highly recommended. All service records should include the name and address of the client, the date of each purchase or service, the amount charged, the products used, and the result obtained. Clients' preferences and taste should be noted. Check in. What are the components of a basic business plan? Describe booth rental. Booth rental, also known as chair rental, involves renting a booth or station in a salon, spa, or barbershop. This practice is popular in shops all over the United States. Many people see booth rental or renting a station as a more desirable alternative to owning a business. Did you know currently booth rental is legal in every state except Pennsylvania, where there is a law prohibiting it? In New Jersey, the state board does not recognize booth rental as an acceptable method of doing business. Check with your state to be aware of all the latest laws and regulations. In a booth rental agreement, a professional generally rents a station or workspace in a salon, spa, or barbershop for a weekly fee paid to the owner. Booth renters are solely responsible for their own clientele, supplies, record keeping, and accounting, and have the ability to be their own boss with very little capital investment. Booth rental is a desirable situation for many beauty professionals who have a large, steady clientele and who do not have to rely on a business's general clientele to keep busy. Unless you are at least 70% booked all the time, however, it may not be advantageous to rent a booth. Although it may sound like a good option, booth renting has its share of obligations, such as the following. The glare on this page. I'm still having lighting issues. Keeping records for income tax purposes and other legal reasons. paying all taxes, including higher Social Security, double that of an employee, carrying adequate malpractice insurance and health insurance, complying with all IRS obligations for independent contracting. Go to irs.gov and search for independent contractors to learn more. Using your own telephone and booking systems, collecting all service fees, whether they are paid in cash or via a credit card, creating all professional materials such as business cards and a service menu, purchasing all supplies, including back bar and retail supplies and products, tracking and maintaining inventory, managing the purchase of products and supplies, budgeting for advertising or offering incentives to ensure a steady flow of new clients, paying for all continuing education, working in an independent atmosphere where teamwork usually does not exist and where shop standards are interpreted on an individual basis, adhering to state laws and regulations. To date, 2 states, Pennsylvania and New Jersey, do not allow booth rental at all. Others may require that each renter in an establishment hold their own establishment license and carry individual liability insurance. Always check with your state regulatory agency. As a booth renter, you will not enjoy the same benefits as an employee of a salon, spa, or barbershop, such as paid days off or vacation time. Remember, as a booth renter, when you do not work, you do not get paid. Perhaps most importantly, you must continually attract new clients and maintain the ones you have, which means working the hours your clients need you to be available. For more information on booth rental as a business option, reference Milady's Booth Renting 101, a guide for independent stylists. Check-in. What responsibilities does a booth renter assume? Identify the elements of a successful salon, spa, or barbershop. The only way to guarantee that you will stay in business and have a prosperous business is to take excellent care of your clients. Clients visiting your shop should feel that they are being well taken care of, and they should always have a reason to look forward to their next visit. To accomplish this, your salon, spa, or barbershop must be physically attractive, well organized, smoothly run, and above all, sparkling clean. Planning the layout. One of the most exciting opportunities ahead of you is planning and constructing the best physical layout for the type of business you envision. Maximum efficiency should be the primary concern. For example, if you are opening a low-budget establishment offering quick service, you will need several stations and a small to medium-sized reception area because clients will be moving in and out fairly quickly. Retail sales are essential to a profitable beauty business. Make sure the products you carry and the space you design reflect the importance of high retail sales. Then there's a diagram on the next page. The layout of a salon area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chairs. However, if you are opening a high-end business where clients expect the quality of service to be matched by the environment, you may want to plan for more room in the waiting area. In fact, you might choose to have several areas in which clients can lounge and enjoy light snacks or beverages, from soda and coffee to alcoholic beverages. Most salons, spas, and barbershops also provide complimentary Wi-Fi access to their guests. Caution: if you plan to serve alcoholic beverages at your business, check with your local and state laws to make sure you obtain all proper licenses and insurance. Layout is crucial to the smooth operation of a salon, spa, or barbershop. Once you have decided on the type of business that you wish to run, seek the advice of an architect with plenty of experience in designing the beauty industry. For renovations, a professional equipment and furniture supplier will be able to help you. And a picture again of a layout, typical layout for a larger salon or spa. That is very large. Ideally, the design you develop should include the following: ample aisle space, space for each piece of equipment, quality mirrors, fixtures, furniture, and equipment chosen on the basis of cost, durability, utility, and appearance. Decoration and paint that is thematic and pleasing to the eye. Restrooms for clients and employees. Handicap accessible facilities and doors. Good plumbing and lighting for services. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Sufficient electrical outlets and current adequate to service all equipment. Storage areas. Display areas. Attractive, furnished, and comfortable reception or waiting area. Cost to create even a small salon, spa, or barbershop in an existing space can range from $75 to $125 per square foot, if not more. Renovating existing space requires familiarity with building codes and the landlord's restrictions before you do anything. All the plumbing should be in the same area, and electrical wiring must be up to code. If they are not, you'll pay thousands of dollars extra. Before you begin, get everything in writing from contractors, design firms, equipment manufacturers, and architects. It's a good idea to get 3 quotes on everything from contractors and cleaning services to workstations and equipment. Don't be afraid to negotiate whenever you can. Try to estimate how much each area in the business will earn so you can use space efficiently. An inviting retail display in your reception area is a good investment. On the other hand, an employee break area produces no income. In addition to startup costs for creating your business, you'll need financing for operational expenses. Realistically, you should plan to have at least several months and up to 1 year of expenses available to help get you up and running. It takes most new shops about 6 months to begin operating at full capacity. Activity. Legendary layout. What would your dream salon, spa, or barbershop look like? Try your hand at designing a business that would attract the kinds of clients you want, offer the services you would like to specialize in, and provide an efficient, comfortable working environment for beauty professionals. Draw pictures, use words, or try a combination of both. Pay attention to practical requirements, but feel free to dream a little too. Skylights, waterfalls, a mechanical bull, you name it, it's your dream. Consider how you might target all 5 of the senses. Personnel. Your personnel is your staff or employees. The size of your business will determine the size of your staff. Large salons, spas, or a barbershop may require receptionists, assistants, and housekeepers, in addition to beauty professionals with a variety of specializations. Smaller establishments often employ personnel who are expected to perform more than one type of service. For example, a barber might also be the shop's colorist. Ultimately, whether your business is large or small, high-end or economical, its success depends on the attitude and quality of work done by the staff. When interviewing potential employees, consider the following. Level of skill. What is their educational background? When was the last time they attended an educational event? How long have they been in the industry? What can they bring to the organization beyond their technical skills? Personal grooming. Do they look like professionals you would consider Do they look like professionals you would constitute for personal grooming? Consult for personal grooming advice. Image as it is related to the business. Are they too progressive or too conservative for your environment? Does their image reflect the image of your business? Overall attitude. Are they mostly positive or mostly negative in their response to your questions? Do they seem self-motivated and self-directed? Communication skills. Are they able to understand your questions? Can you understand their responses? Work history. Have they been at a previous business for many years, or do they hop from shop to shop? Are they bringing clientele, or do they expect you to build one for them? Making a good hiring decision is crucial. Undoing bad hiring decisions is costly and painful for all involved and can be more complicated than one might expect. I thought so. And we'll end that there and start with payroll and employee benefits on the next video. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Check out my other videos and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.